Pepper pot is a Guyanese meat stew. And when I say meat stew, I mean meat stew. While I was researching and looking for recipes, I saw it made with things like pigtails, cow heels, oxtails, beef, mutton, goat, and pork. And it's mix and match. You can do like goat and pork, or beef and mutton, or cow heels and oxtails. I saw all sorts of different combinations, but the original version of pepper pot is a meat stew. It's the meat and the gravy, the sauce, that is traditionally served on Christmas with bread. And believe me, you're going to want the bread. There's reason for the bread. Really, I don't remember what hooked me on pepper pot, what brought it to my attention, or why I went looking for it, but back in 2022, I hit on the recipe, thought it sounded interesting, and gave it a try. And it was good. It was really good. It's a little odd, but it was good. And when I say I got as close to it as I could, I didn't make a traditional pepper pot because I didn't have cassareep. Cassareep is made from cassavas. It's a long process of extracting juice and boiling it down so that it's not poisonous anymore. Evidently, cassareep will keep forever, basically, years. And the addition to the cassareep to the meat stew means that it sits on the stove for days and gets reheated, and people eat it as they come and go. So, but that's because it's got the cassareep in it. And like I said, I didn't have cassareep, so I didn't make a real traditional pepper pot, but Worcestershire sauce was listed as a substitute for cassareep in several different places. So I used Worcestershire sauce, so I think I got pretty close. And it was good. It was really good. And it can be made with any kind of meat. It can be made, I mean, most recipes, most Western interpretations of it will use beef, which is what I use. I wouldn't use chicken. Chicken would not work for this, but basically pork, mutton, or beef, or any mix thereof will work for this stew. And I liked it. I really did. But what I really liked was the broth, the gravy with bread. That's my favorite part. And in my eternal quest for a one-pot meal, I went off on a tangent, and what I came up with is pepper pot soup. And it's one of my favorite things. So here's my recipe for pepper pot soup. I've got the beef browning, chopped the garlic. I use like a pound of beef in this because I am not about the beef in this recipe. I like the broth with bread. That's my thing. It's weird, but I find it very satisfactory. Now, normally, you would see me peeling and chopping ginger. My general rule of thumb is if I'm putting it in with the skin on it, I microplane it so that it's really small. I'm just getting the ginger ready to go. The next thing going in is the onions. The onions have been chopped. We're still in the browning phase on the beef because I put it in with the brown sugar and got it browned, and now we turned it down to get some juice out of it, and now we're burning off the juice, which is it gives it all a really nice, a deeper browning. I'm not making a traditional pepper pot. I've probably mentioned it before. To begin with, I don't have cassareep, which is a major ingredient in the Guyanese version. I've never had cassareep. I probably might be able to get it somewhere in St. Louis, but I've never really gone looking for it. Yeah, the beef is pretty much ready to go. We're gonna toss the onion in now. The onion that I just spilled all over the sink. Okay, so far there's salt, a little bit of salt, maybe a teaspoon of salt, pepper, and some paprika in there. Not really gonna add much more spice right now. We're gonna wait for a little while. Give the onions a minute or two to cook, a few minutes to cook down. Okay, the onions are getting there. I'm going to go ahead and put the garlic in. And I'm going to go ahead and put the ginger in.
Actually very high up to the sky, so I try to get to the coconut.
That's 64 ounces beef stock. That's two 32-ounce containers of beef stock in there now. Okay, so right now there's beef, onions, garlic, and ginger in there. I'm going to be pulling out the other stuff that's going to be going in. We're going to do a couple of the dried chilies. Dried chilies. Those are going in. What else I got? So we're throwing in a big old cinnamon stick. I'm going to put in a big old bay leaf. To put in a bit of red pepper flakes. And you notice I'm really meticulously measuring everything here. The cloves I will measure. I don't want a whole lot of clove. We're doing a 1/4 teaspoon of clove to start with. I usually do a full half, but we'll wait and see. Teaspoon at a time. Doing 1 heaping tablespoon of green seasoning, which there is a video for that you can go back and check out and make yourself, because I don't think you're going to be able to buy it anywhere. Don't know that for sure. So we're doing 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. The next thing going in is orange peel. Now, usually I would peel and chop, but since I've got the grater out, I'm going to go ahead and zest this time and see how that goes. I did zest it like the first time I used the orange peel, but it's been a while and I don't remember. I remember it tasted okay. I don't have any complaints with the chopping because I usually just kind of very finely mince the orange peel when I peel and chop. But this time we're going to try zesting and see what that gets me. And this is going to be my snack in a few minutes. So the orange isn't going to waste. There's method to my madness. And when you do this, you don't want to get any of the white. You're better off leaving some of the orange behind than you are getting a lot of white. Because the white, the pith is very bitter. And it doesn't take much. You just kind of lightly scrape the orange and the zest comes right off. And like I said, you're better off leaving some of the orange behind than you are getting a lot of the white. So I'm going to stop there. Because that's a pretty good pile of zest right there. I'd say it's probably not quite a full tablespoon, but it's close. So this is going to go in. It's already getting that smell that I like. Okay. Alrighty. Let's triple check. Green seasoning, paprika, pepper flake, brown sugar. I browned the beef in brown sugar. Cloves, bay, ginger, cinnamon stick, Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, stock, orange, garlic, onion. Carrot, celery, and peppers are still to come, but we're going to wait on those for a little while. A, I have to chop them. I haven't chopped them yet. B, I'm gonna let the beef simmer for a little bit and soften up before I start putting in the vegetables. The beef has been simmering for about 30 minutes. I'm kind of rushing things this time, so we're sticking with tradition, but I guess part of the tradition, especially with me, is it's not going to be perfect. So, but the next thing going in is carrots, and I don't know how many are going to go in. I'm just going to chop and put them in, and we'll see what it looks like when we get there. Probably got about 1/3 of a pound sitting there of the baby carrots waiting to be chopped. I know the first time I used the whole pound and it was way too heavy on the carrots. So we're not going to go there this time. I don't remember how much I used last time. If the dogs want to eat the carrot, they can eat the carrot. And honestly, Annie just heard me say that. And she ate the carrot. Ah well. It's a good snack for him. Won't hurt her. You shouldn't get all stressed out about the holidays, people. This is supposed to be fun, not drudgery. So, if you're not having fun, you need to try doing something else. And right now, I'm kind of having fun. I'm cooking one of my favorite soups. It actually is one of my favorite soups. It's one of the reasons I decided to celebrate the solstice with it. So, I'm cooking one of my favorite soups and listening to the Great British Bake Off and hanging out with my animals and kind of enjoying my evening. I mean, it's a little stressful because I've got to get up and go to work in the morning, but, you know, I think that might be enough carrots. We're going to put a hold on the carrots right now and switch to the celery. Because I think stirring it looks like that's enough carrots. Like I said, my favorite part of this is, and I got some good bread, some good seedy bread to go with it. My favorite part of this is the broth with good seedy bread. So, I don't want to overload it with a bunch of solid stuff. Usually I would peel and chop all of this beforehand. And quite often I end up with too much vegetables when I do that. This time, since it's kind of on the fly, I'm falling back on the old chop and add while it's cooking. This might be a better way to go, because I probably would have chopped more carrots than that. And this is what we're looking like now. For me, that's enough carrots and celery. So we're going to let those cook for a little bit, and then we're going to put some peppers and some green onions in, and then we're going to call it quits. The carrots and the celery are starting to get soft, so it's time to add in the last of the ingredients for this soup. I went ahead and chopped one whole bunch of green onions, and because I always use at least one whole bunch of green onions, depending on the size of the bunch and the size of the onions. I will sometimes use 2 or 3, but I like green onions. So the green onions are already chopped, so they're going in. And I'm gonna cut up some sweet peppers. These are the sweet peppers in the package. And I'm gonna start cutting 6 of them, and we'll see how many of them actually go in. Okay, so the last of the ingredients are in. I actually used 8 of the smaller peppers. And like I said, I used a whole bunch. I think it's like 12 ounces of green onions. So all that's left is to let those simmer down a little bit, which doesn't take long. And then we have dinner. There we are. Nice dark broth. So we'll see how it tastes. The carrots are nice and soft, which means the celery will be good too. Ooh, the beef is nice. The beef is soft too. The beef is very tender. All in all, I'm thinking it's a good bowl of soup. Got a little bit of a kick to it with the dried chilies. It's a very good bowl of soup.